So we had to run this diesel-powered heater at night to warm up the shop before the concrete, and then it just surprised me how they just drive right into the shop. So Sam's been coming out the last couple of nights and turning on the diesel heater to get the temperature inside the shop warm enough for them to come in and pour the concrete, which they did yesterday. So this is our amazing concrete shop floor. I could not be more excited about it being done, and yeah, it's amazing. So I guess they're gonna come back and cut it tomorrow so that it'll put the lines in it or whatever so that it can expand and contract the way it needs to. We almost didn't get it done yesterday just because it rained pretty much the entire day, and it said it only rained about 1/10 of an inch, but the ground got very slick and very wet and very muddy, and I'm going to show you what happened because of that also. So parts of the ground have dried out pretty well, but you can see heading up towards the shop, it's still pretty muddy, and you can see some pretty big tracks and ruts that were left by the trucks coming in with the concrete yesterday. And as they were pulling either in or out, there was some difficulty with traction, and as they were trying to drive along here, they would start to slide closer and closer to this edge, which pretty abruptly drops off right there down into the neighbor's field. So right here is where one of the trucks stopped, and Sam had to drag it sideways over to here with the tractor, the big blue tractor, so that it could proceed to drive down the rest of the driveway and get out of our yard. So that was fun yesterday in the mud. I think he ended up pulling out 2 or 3 trucks. I'll have to check, but same thing, they just kept sliding towards the edge of the hill, so he had to hook on, or maybe this one right here, it kept acting like it was going to slide this way, so he chained up to it with the big blue tractor and pulled it up that way so it could go up and around to get out. So that was fun and unexpected yesterday. And completely unrelated to getting the concrete poured yesterday, Sam was using the red tractor to lift a piece of equipment for them or carry it into the shop for them, and heard a weird rattle noise, something, and apparently the little red tractor threw a belt, or its belt broke or something, and so now that needs to be replaced. So that will be an upcoming video and a future project. So a little bit unexpected part of getting the concrete poured, but I am just so glad. There's cats running around all over out here. I'm just so glad that it got finished. They were able to do it despite the rain. There weren't any major problems, and tomorrow, like I said, they'll come back, do the last little bit, and we will have a completely finished concrete floor in our shop that is now able to be completely enclosed, so we can heat it, we can keep birds and mice out of it, and we can work on things without dealing with all of those things, and to be able to stay warm. So very excited. Also completely unrelated, but they just happen to be out here. I can't believe how similar these 2 cats look. So the one on the right, I'm pretty sure is Lily, our original cat. And I think the one on the left is David, one of our kittens that we ended up finding and rescuing when they were orphaned. And then of course little John Wayne Gacy right there. So I think as the runt he'll always be a little bit smaller, but yeah, it is very, and Lily just doesn't care about anything. She's just wanting to get away from all of the things. I don't even know if she knows this little one's stalking her, but yeah, so I don't know, I just think it's funny that I'll see one and then the other and I'm never sure which one's which anymore because they just look very similar. So apparently replacing a belt on a tractor isn't that big of a deal, so you don't get to see it, and neither did I, because Sam already had it changed and had the tractor back in service by the time I got out here to feed the pigs. So we are going to need the tractor to load the semi-trailer so we can go deliver a load of hay this morning. But yeah, apparently it's a pretty quick, easy process to replace a belt on a tractor. Learning something new every day. So I know I've shown loading the trailer with hay before. I don't know if I've ever shown the 3x4 bales instead of the 4x4 bales. Not that it's any different, it's just what? Shorter? Yeah, shorter. So they're 3 feet tall instead of 4 feet. But this is also the first time we've had to get hay out of the barn, which normally wouldn't be too big of a deal. We would just pull straight in and get it out or grab it from the side, but we can't do either one of those things because we have all this wood piled up right here in front of the stack, and we have the baler on the other side of the stack and the swather in front of it, so he has to come in at an angle, grab the bale, set it down, and reposition to pick it back up so that it's square so he can put it on the trailer. So a much more complicated process than previous. And I can't see the floor without opening the garage doors, and I don't know if I can or should do that. But I think he also put some trim on the front of the building, so I'm gonna go check that out. I'm trying to be helpful while Sam is loading, so I'm trying my hand at throwing the straps over the hay bales. It's a little bit easier because, like I said, it's 2 feet shorter than it was. I got the second one. I don't know if you can see, way on top of that stack over there, on top of the step deck, there's a little yellow coil that did not make it all the way over the bale. So Sam will have to climb up there and finish throwing it over. But I did get the second one, so we'll see how I do on the rest of them. He usually has to climb up and straighten them out and things anyway, so it's not like he wouldn't have had to get up there. But yeah, new challenges. This is not what he called me in here for, but look at these lines. This is so cool. There's a floor with lines. And they go this way. It's so echoey in here. And it goes all the way this way. And then there's one that goes across this way, all the way over there. So we have a 3x4 grid.
12-foot squares.
12-foot squares. That is cool. And we have a floor, and it's hard. I made a mess. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
You broke the concrete.
I didn't break the concrete. I just made a mess. It's okay. Iris will lay on it. I got you, Mom. I'll cover this up. So the trim piece that Sam put up the other day is this white piece along the bottom. So what it's going to do is, one, help seal the bottom of the trim, the bottom of the building. I hope I don't get hit by snow falling off the roof. So it's going to seal the bottom of the building, but we're also hoping that because it doesn't have overhangs, that when it gets wet and rains and snows, that all of the water just kind of hits the ground and pools up and bounces back under the house or the shop. So we're hoping that this will kind of give it a place to land and then run away from the shop instead of running into it. So yeah, he was able to get one piece installed before the snow, and now we need doors, so this will wait for a little bit, but that was the trim that Sam did the other day.